Thank you for tuning in and thank you for inviting me here for this event today that we're recording. I am as Dr. Victoria Hart, and the message that's flowing through me is the art of mastering change. I'd like to ask us to bow our head in prayer, please. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart please be acceptable in your sight. I ask for the listeners who are in range to hear this message be blessed tenfold for their time to listen to it. I ask that they be safe and blessed on their journeys back to their destinations. And I ask that their heart guides them to share this message with at least one other person, that they may be blessed as well. Amen. From many vantage points, this is a wonderful time to be alive. In terms of our nutrition and health, our standards of living and working conditions, our political and economic freedoms, our educational facilities, and our ability to communicate with one another, we do live in some amazing, progressive, creative times, even though it may not look so. As we consider the broad outlook for humankind, perhaps most heartening is the recent improvement in our ability to get along with one another. Not unrelated is our increasing development of our spiritual wealth. Evidence of the speeding up of progress is widespread. We might ask if creativity is the mainspring for these benefits. Nature's great scheme involves change. Nuclear physicist Robert Oppenheimer says, quote, "The world alters as we walk on it, so that the years of man's life measure not some small growth or rearrangements or moderation of what he learned in childhood, but a great upheaval," unquote. Today, this great upheaval, nothing less than the beginning of a new era in the history of the world, because with recent changes, we have reached and begun to transcend the heretofore ultimate limits of nature and the earth itself. In the past, change was isolated, infrequent, and limited. Yet today it is becoming ubiquitous and universal. In his book, Mastering Change, Leon Martel described how we now have the capacity to communicate simultaneously with every person on Earth. In the summer of 1982, nearly half of the Earth's population could watch the World Cup soccer finals. And at that time, it was amazing. Someone has noted that it took 5 months to get word back to Queen Isabella about the voyage of Columbus, 2 weeks for Europe to hear about Lincoln's assassination, and only 1.3 seconds to get the word out from Neil Armstrong that a person can walk on the moon. Old eras of communication end, and the new ones began. Are we the products of an incredibly creative process that had us in mind? Have we been hampered in our creative development because of an unwillingness to fully explore human creative potentials through statistical research methods? Could human brain functions be greatly enhanced if proper conditions could be found for mobilizing the remaining neural networks? Is this suggestion supported by the limited data on the so-called idiot savants who exhibit remarkable abilities in math or in music, although their general abilities may be quite limited? Does this imply that human brain can perform incredible functions under certain conditions? How can we find these conditions? Could spiritual attributes also be greatly enhanced by diligent research, thus leading to accelerated spiritual development of humankind? Well, data from the Templeton Foundation financed research programs frequently suggest that resources of mind may be accessible if methods are researched carefully and scientifically. Experiences of penetrating insight, the sudden appearance of solutions to seemingly intractable scientific problems, the incredible creativity that musical and mathematical inspiration often entails, and the sense of the presence of an awesome force are often seen as essential spiritual happenings by the people who experience them. How can these spiritual experiences, which are so valuable to the individual involved, be extended to a much wider spectrum of society? As our minds capable of helping in the creative activity of the universe as well as in the growth of the human soul, By following the humble approach to discover, do we keep our minds as open and receptive as possible because we never know what opportunities await us? Should we also keep our minds strongly linked to our souls and our souls linked to the Creator? In this way, can the creative process in which we engage flow from the mind of God through our souls to our minds, where creative thinking can produce creative results in the physical world? In closing, through creative thinking, we can see the divine affecting changes in the visible culture we humans create with our homes, families, schools, churches, business, and governments. We can also be aware of we can also be aware of spiritual evolution in our own personalities. Our minds are tremendously powerful. The mind can bring on physical illness as well as influence the rate of recovery. If our minds can produce such results within us, can you just take a moment and imagine what could be achieved with conscious effort in our exterior world? And this is where this message ends. It's just something to ponder on in our journey of the spiritual laws of life. I ask and just want you to know, I first ask that if you want to contact me at AskDrVictoria@lightyourpurpose.com. And I also want you to know that I am here to support you in your purpose, in your divine purpose. I thank you again for listening and taking the time. I hope to hear from you and see you again. I'm getting tongue-tied at the end. It's getting kind of late here at this event. So I thank you again, and you have just a divine evening. Be blessed.